exit ticket. All of them didn't get to the exit ticket. But one of the little things that I noticed was, in their workbook, I don't know if this is a wrong strategy for me, but after we reteach it multiple times, there's going to be some errors, obviously, with some of the kids. So when I go around and have them and check their books to give them the exit ticket, not all of them are going to have the correct answers, but is it okay to say, go ahead and work on this? Or, because then when I start to correct their notebooks, it's like I can't keep up with my regimen, my sequence. Yeah. So if I'm trying to get them to correct their notebooks, then I lose track of my schedule.
For me, the more important thing is, are they doing it correctly? So what I don't want is I don't want them to do it incorrectly and then move on to the next thing and have them think they did it correctly.
Right, if they're trying to plug it in.
Then to reteach it would be that much more to undo all that incorrect thinking, basically. So my philosophy is, if they don't get the exit ticket, that's fine. At least they're working towards their independent practice and working towards doing it the right way. You don't have to walk by and say, okay, that one's right. Number 2's not right. Try that again. Check your 10's place. I might give them a quick hint and then move on to the next person.
Yeah, that's one of the little question marks in my head. Like, where do I pause and take this extra time to correct their notebooks when I need to, they need to do the exit ticket to see exactly. Yeah. If I see them doing it right but still getting the wrong answer, is it okay to give them the exit ticket? And then...
you can just use that as data. Give them the exit ticket and you go, okay, I saw them kind of making some mistakes. Let's see if they do it again on the exit ticket.
Just be careful of counting your data in your HTO chart on this. Because I didn't actually know all the answers in their notebook.
Yeah.
So I
have to do some quick mental math as I'm walking through.
I was doing that.
The other reason I also say pick 2, because I don't want to do like 6 problems in my head, so I just have them pick 2. Yeah. And that's kind of part of the reason, and it should be just a quick assessment. Okay, are you ready to move on? So that's usually why I only have 2. One thing you can also do is walk around, have your teacher book, but have all the right answers in it. So when you're walking around checking them, that might be faster for you.
And giving them a chance to kind of plugging it in, but maybe they're still getting the wrong answer, but they're starting to do it correctly. And the more they do, maybe it'll start clicking a little more. If they do 2 or 3, even though they got 2 wrong, maybe the 3rd or 4th would be correct. Yeah. I don't know. So that's where, when I'm teaching, I just wonder if it's okay to let them, we reteach it so many times and let them try it. If they have error, then it's okay to sometimes get the wrong answer. Yeah. But at least if they're doing the HTO chart and working these out, then move on, and then maybe tomorrow we'll check it again and see if they're doing it. Yeah, it's one of those things. This is a complicated skill, so we're going to keep coming back to it and keep coming back to it. In fact, tomorrow is basically it's just rewriting it, stacking on top of each other, and then doing the same thing. Yeah, because they're not always going to get the right answers, so...
hopefully the more we go over it, hopefully they will get the right answers if they understand the process. Yeah. For something like this, it's about if they understand the process and what's happening, then they will get the right answers. Okay. So that's, but with this, it is a difficult skill, so it does take time sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes it takes time being on the struggle bus a little bit to get through all this. So, so think about your lesson. What you had mentioned to me earlier, you kind of stopped them and you kind of did a problem on the board. What was kind of like your evidence for making that decision? Which, by the way, I think was a good decision. So what was your evidence for making that decision?
Emma and Dylan, and they.
Was it something they said or something that you saw?
No, just completely wrong answers, and so I felt like I needed to show them how to do it again. Awesome.
I think it's great. So that's kind of using that informative assessment to help guide your instruction. I think that's super important to use that, because obviously if you notice that, especially like most kids at table 1 are like struggling, then obviously everyone else is probably struggling too, since each group is kind of like a combination of kind of highs, mids, and lows and all things. So it's a good cross-cut of what the class is, basically. So, I think that was a good call on your part, because I think sometimes you'd be like, stop. Let's take a look at this so the rest of you guys don't continue doing this the wrong way.
It seemed to be quiet, but in the back of my mind, I was wondering, I was checking to see, it seemed like everyone was working and understanding it, and I did make my rounds to see who was ready for the exit ticket and so forth, but I don't know what percent, like if we gave them a quiz, what percent of the kids would get these answers correct.
Right.
So I'd have to look at this. The exit tickets.
Yeah.
I did run out of time with the exit tickets. So and that was my summative assessment for the day.
Yeah, earlier this week I totally ran out of time, so I got like maybe 3 exit tickets. So that's not
today.
Last week.
Oh, last week.
Last week that happened on one of the days, and so I totally get it. This is meaty stuff.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to keep the ball rolling, but at the same time, you want to keep the ball rolling. Just make sure it's not rolling over the kids. That they're not getting it. And so it's kind of this fine line we have to walk. It's like we're in a hurry, but we don't want to hurry too fast to where we're like leaving everyone in the dust.
Yeah, I noticed they were working. Everyone was working, and when I did it several times, I did it at least twice. Went back up to the board and worked another problem.
Yeah.
And there was about a third of the class, it seemed like, that was paying attention.
Yeah.
So the rest of the class was working.
Yeah.
But I wasn't able to walk over and see, are they doodling? Like Kylie was drawing, but she did all her work, but then she did draw a picture.
Yep. At least she did her work.
She did do her work, though.
Yes.
So I was just trying to make sure everyone understood it.
So they got their seats, and then you noticed they were struggling, and then you stopped them and retaught it. And I think that was a great thing that you did. So kind of in hindsight, kind of rewinding, what do you think could you have done maybe earlier? Could you have done anything earlier, like maybe when they were on the carpet before they went back to their seats, to maybe help them a little bit so that they weren't struggling so much?
Well, I had them work the problems out on the board, and I think I worked at least 3 out on this board, and then they were working on their whiteboards and discussing things. I felt like I did ask them for thumbs up to see if they got the right answer or if they had if they understood it.
Yeah.
So those little assessments I did, but as many as I did, I feel like I did an adequate amount. But then, of course, as soon as I excused them, what's his name? Lucian's like, I don't know how to do this. And I was like, okay.
Yep, you always get one. Yeah.
And I thought he was participating and putting his thumbs up that he understood it, but maybe they just didn't want to do it, and they wanted, I don't know.
That's hard. Well, so. what the litmus test is. So did I didn't make a note of it. Did you when they did the work on the whiteboards, did they show you their boards?
I think I had them give me thumbs up instead of holding up their board. And then I said, if you got this correct, say woohoo or something like that. So maybe I didn't have them put their boards up. That could have been what I could have done.
And I have them do the whole woohoo thing. I have them do that, get them pumped up. But I have them show me the boards because they're not always honest. They might put thumbs up or say woohoo, but they really didn't get the right answer. And mostly it's like it's a pride thing. It's like they don't want to be the only one with not the thumbs up or not saying woohoo or whatever. So that's why I have them show me their boards, and I just kind of look, and that's why I love the whiteboards. It's a great formal assessment. And I can just be like, okay, got it, don't have it, got it. And so I did that last week, and it was awesome. I was able to look across and be like, okay, well, I see like 90% of the kids have it. So that's when I'm like, okay, I feel like we can move on to go back to their seats and work on box 3.
I did see them. I was looking at their boards, honestly. I was looking.
Cool.
And I could see that most of them were working. Jacob was protesting and didn't want to do any work.
I saw that. Yeah, totally.
That's about it. Everyone else seemed to be working. I think maybe Jose was wasn't doing his best today, but those two, but everyone else seemed to be putting in some effort.
And I'm kind of focusing on kind of assessing as my reinforcement and refinement here. I'm kind of focusing on both of them because that's kind of a lot what we're scoring you on as far as the...
I feel like I did a lot of assessments. The thumbs up, the woohoo, the having them...
Well, using the informal, so again, the more like the reinforcement, seeing that they're struggling, pulling them back, stopping. So use that informal assessment of looking at their books as they're working on their work and stuff and realizing, whoa, we have to pause. That's great. And so, so kind of continuing that into the refinement, which is, hey, these whiteboards are awesome tools. So next time, make sure they show you, because they enjoy it. But what they don't know is it's actually letting us know as teachers how they're doing and if they're getting the skill or concept. So utilize that next time. Have them show you those boards, and then you can like glance across, like, okay, are they getting it? And if they're not, I can tell by glancing at the boards, like, oh, they are not regrouping the ones. I see circles, but they're not actually putting the 10 stick over. Kind of a thing. So I can kind of get a basic idea of where they're struggling just by looking at their whiteboards all at once. And so use that to your advantage, because so next time before moving to their seats, you might be able to see some of those mistakes, like, I know where I need to kind of show them.
Yeah, holding them up. I should have done that. I was actively looking down and looking at all of their boards to make sure they were working, but it seemed like some maybe still be working, so I didn't want to disturb them writing. I think that was my thought process in the back of my head. Like some of them were still working a little bit, so I was just kind of seeing if they they're working. But yes, having them show it at the same time is a good suggestion.
And what I do is I'll give them like a 5-second countdown.
Okay.
So they kind of know it's coming. Okay. And then when I get to the 0, that means they cap it. Okay. So no more writing. And then I tell them, even if you're not done, I still want to see, because I still want to see where they're at in the process. Even if they don't have a final answer, are they getting the process correct? And so then I have to say, show me, and they all show me at the same time. And I just take a moment, look at all of them, and say, okay, where are they as a class? Where are they? Okay. And if there are a few that are still struggling, you have to make that decision. Do we do another one on the carpet as a class? Or for the most part, are they ready? I send them back, but I go and kind of focus on those 1 or 2 kids that still didn't have the right answer. Yeah. And so I kind of make sure I swoop by and kind of help them out with their box 3 if they're working on box 3.
How do you think I did with teaching them that? I mean, could you tell, or?
I think you use the whiteboard effectively with that. And basically, one thing I appreciate, I made a note about in your last one, is you really try and take what I do and you kind of continue it on. And I think that's great. Not only because it's just good teaching practices, but also it's just good continuity for the kids. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm sitting up there or you're sitting up there, they're getting the same type of instruction. And so that's one reason I like that. So the way you taught them was basically how I would have taught them. I think the only difference is maybe I would have had them show me, and then I would have been able to look and be like, okay, maybe we need to do this another time, and then maybe I need to give them like a little hint on, I'm going to let her in real quick.
I have a free morning.
Oh, hi, fantastic. So the difference is, I might have just taken a look and that would give me a clue on maybe do another time, and then also maybe do a quick, like, hey, you guys are struggling with this step right here. Let's go ahead and make sure when we do this next one, you focus on this step right here, kind of thing. So that would be my main suggestion, since we're focusing a lot on assessment for this particular particular round.
And the 3 of them.
Assessment, and planning for instruction.
And then there was
instructional strategies.
Yes.
Yeah, those 3. So
wow, this is the 4th video.
Yeah, we're almost there.